And this is chapter 2, background, family dynamics, values, support, influence, and expectations. I have a great family. I have 7 grandsons, not a daughter, no granddaughters, but and I have 4 children from 2 marriages, and I'm on my 3rd marriage at the moment. And the marriage that I have at the moment, Vicky and I have been together for nearly 30 years now, and if she had been number 1, we probably would be multi-billionaires because we kind of worked together on the same page, and she was a huge force in helping me put together Radio 94.1 FM here on the Gold Coast. My expectations of my family are just to enjoy life. That's what you do. If you're lucky enough to be like me, to love what you do as far as work is concerned, you'll never work a day in your life. And this here was proven to me very, very young, because my dad was a sawmiller and a builder, and I grew up in a sawmill, working in a sawmill, which I didn't mind, but it wasn't me. And then I went into building, and as a brickies labourer and also concreter and framer and all of that, they had to drag me out of bed at 7 o'clock in the morning to get me to work, and I wasn't particularly happy about that. But once I started in radio, even at 2AD in Armidale, where it was absolutely freezing in the morning, and I'd do the breakfast shift, 5 o'clock I'd be up in there and had no trouble whatsoever because I loved doing what I'm doing. And this here is what when you talk about values, I think the value of what 94.1 is all about too, and how we've streamed this. Most of the staff and people and team members that are working here at 94.1, we've been through the ropes of having people tell us what to do and how to do it, and corporations and all the BS around in the world. So 94.1 was designed on the fact that if you love what you're doing and you like being here, be here. In fact, be in front of this console, because the audience can tell if you like it. And there's nothing worse than being on air and having someone over the top of you coming in yelling, "Don't do this and don't do that, and don't do this, and you did this wrong and you did that wrong." We don't do that here at all, because we're all professionals. And if you have someone doing that, you don't want to be here. And I've been on air personally where I just haven't wanted to be there, and I know your audience can feel it through the thing that you don't want to be there. So our philosophy is to enjoy life, and if you want to be here, come here and enjoy it and have a good time, and that's what it's all about. Where am I going here? Let's see. Interest, student, passions, growing up, integrated into your life now. Well, as I mentioned earlier, flying is possibly my biggest interest. I also love surf lifesaving, surfing, sport. I did triathlons. I was never a very good swimmer, but I enjoyed doing it, and it was a good fun. I had to push hard in doing that. But getting back to flying, once I realised I wasn't going to go and have the qualifications to join Qantas or that in that particular way, I did actually go back to school at one stage and did my high school certificate. So I was 20 years of age when I went back to high school, and I tried then for the Air Force, but unfortunately I failed on a medical problem. I caught pneumonia and double pneumonia and failed on a scar on the lung, and they wouldn't have me as a pilot. So I went, damn you. But I was once again tenacious and went ahead, and whilst I was making $60 a week at that particular stage, I was spending $35 an hour on flying lessons. And I got my licence in 1977, my full private licence, and since then I've stepped up, and only recently, and I say recently within the last 8 years or so, I actually did a twin endorsement, and I have a night licence, and I just love flying. I've been able to have some wonderful, wonderful experiences, particularly when I was on television in Mackay during the 80s. I had access to a small plane, and it was continuous for me every second weekend to fly into Hamilton Island. I could fly myself in and fly myself out, and that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I've had a good life. That's chapter 2.
more down.